Hey everyone, Dr. Kennard here with the Dr. Tomfoolery. We were just talking about my tendency to talk about fascism, right? Do you think I just go overboard on the fascism, Dr. Tomfoolery?
It's a passion of yours.
It's a passion of mine. It is a passion of mine, you know? It is a passion.
Mm.
And if I was living in a lot of other countries, maybe, perhaps, it wouldn't be so pertinent. Maybe I'd be talking about something else. You know, I have to tell you something. I remember what I used to blog about before Trump came into office, before all of that. I used to make fun of other atheists. I used to, just write crappy jokes about my dick. And then that all changed. That all changed, with 2016. What's up, Tobin? Darth Templeman. That's what I'm going to call you. Templeman.
Hello, Andy. What's up, Tom?
I'm doing okay.
The Dark Force is with y'all.
You got that whole vibe going on there. I like it. I like it a lot. Especially, if you could do the Dark Force lightning, that would be really cool too.
That would be sweet, man. I'd be playing with that all the damn time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How could you not? Right?
Yep.
What's up, everyone in the chat? Glad to see that you're here.
You could walk around and just charge your cell phone with some Force Lightning.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if that would affect the battery life.
Oh, I could take it easy for the phone. Just give them a little zap. Just like lightly that. Charge it. Just.
Yeah. What's surprising? I haven't. What's surprising is that Robot Chicken really hasn't explored this particular aspect of the Sith life. Because you would think that Robot Chicken, Seth Green's show, with the stop action animation and action, you would think there'd be more of that dark. Because I think really that is the most awesome of the Sith powers is the Dark Force lightning. John Hudson's here. Really? Wow, we got 2 Dark Lord Siths today.
Morning, John.
Dark in this. It's so dark in Texas.
You had really good internet yesterday.
Dark.
You got me used to having good internet yesterday.
It's a dark day in Texas.
It's a dark day in Texas. Is it messed up?
So, which one of you are which one of you are the apprentice, and which one is the Dark Lord Master? I'm just curious about that. I don't want to make this weird or anything, but usually
I am Vince Glortho. I'm Vince Glortho, Keymaster of Gozer.
Oh, dude, I saw that movie. I saw that movie again for like the 50th time. And what?
That's just a fun word to say, Vince Glortho.
Well, there are just some words and some sounds that are just funnier than others. If you ever listen to Lewis Black's, how he talks, he loves to use the K sound at the end of every fucking sentence that he can. He's like just belting out the K sounds because they're funnier. They're just funnier. Duck, fuck, muck. How is that not funny?
Or anything that starts with the G.
Gazebo.
Gazebo. Gargoyle. Gargonzola.
Gargonzola. Yeah.
God.
That's interesting. There's something like that for music too. Like I like to end on the vowels A, E, I, O, and U.
Right.
Because you can sustain those as a note.
Right.
But that's cool. The K sound for humor.
Yes.
Let's try that.
Right on.
And O-N is 1. O-N-E is 1. I don't know.
So how's the new baby doing, John Hudson?
Oh my God, she's adorable. I'm so in love. It's I wandered down about 2:30. She woke up for me. changed her up and sat and held her till about 6 o'clock this morning.
Oh, good for you, man. That's great.
Yeah, letting the kids do their thing, you know.
Yeah.
But take advantage of my insomnia, you know.
Well, I feel that there's something wrong with me now that I've been getting normal sleep. It's like I'm talking about 8 hours, 7, 8 hours for the last couple of days, and fingers crossed, I might have been able to unpickle my brain. I might have been able to figure out a way how to actually get a good night's sleep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No
Well,
night terrors, nothing.
You feeling a lot better during the day?
I am. Yeah.
I imagine.
Feeling a lot more awake, funnier, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, just more better with the cognition, definitely.
I found a song last night. I want to work with Jimmy Lou. He's asked me to do some stuff.
Yep.
And he
I set
was
that
like,
up.
you know, what's your idea? And I've been thinking on it, and then I found it last night. I'm going to look up old gospel songs and just reiterate or redo those and make them a parody.
That's
And
fine.
I found one last night by Dolly Parton. Power in the Blood.
Power in the Blood. Oh yeah, sure. I know that song.
I
haven't heard it
almost
for a
don't.
long time.
I almost don't have to do much to it to make a parody of it.
Yeah. Power in the Blood. You know, it's funny how powerful music really is, right? I was watching this show Preacher that was, I think, on AMC. It was on some cable channel. This is like years ago, a couple of years ago, and they were and there was like this church. They were in a church, and there was this singing of Onward Christian Soldiers, and I swear to God, man, it put a shiver up my spine. Not in a good way either.
Yeah, they are still putting out music, and people are still really attracted to it. I ran across a church, and it had millions of views on it, and it's a new songwriter. The song I watched was like from 2017 or 2018, but they had a massive crowd.
Wow. Dude,
But what's up?
Is it Power in the Blood? Is that the name of the song?
I think that might be it. Yeah.
Because this is a song. The lyrics I'm looking at are a song by Amy Grant. It may not. I don't know. It's the same iteration. What's up, Sammy?
Well, Dolly Parton didn't write it.
Hoodie Party, and I wasn't missing out.
All right. I feel like they're like now 3 Sith Lords. I don't know how many. I think that's breaking some rule. But dude, the Power in the Blood, that's like psychotic lyrics. But this is normal, right? Like delusional, not reality based. There is power, wonder, working power in the blood of the Lamb, in the precious blood of the Lamb. You know,
let's slaughter that son of a bitch.
Yeah. You know,
and towards the end, the third verse.
Yeah, it's there's wonderful power in the blood. It sounds like a vampire. It sounds like something a vampire would be writing, right?
So there's
is that from
that's a good angle. Oh man,
song.
I like that.
It wasn't that song "Power in the Blood" from the movie Ragtime.
I have no idea, dude. I haven't seen the movie.
Never mind. I'm making gross humor.
Okay. Ragtime. Oh, John.
I get it, dude. That's awesome.
I'm like focused on this thing, working on my own shit, and John Hudson with the menstruation joke. There you go. No, you're right about that. They are nothing but blood cults, bloody death cults. That's what they are.
Bloody death cults. There's a song right there, Tobin. Bloody death cult.
Very metal. Very metal.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm not sure if anyone has done this one
I
yet, but I've toyed with the idea of rewriting the song "I'm My Own Grandpa" as an explanation for the triune God.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Dude, that is good.
I'm
I
my
am my
own.
own grandpa. That's good.
Yeah, it needs to be done.
It's a similar theme
Oh
where
yeah.
where the person is the father and the son, and they're the same, but it's a confusing situation to explain.
Right. Well, you could use a lot of that word salad that a lot of theologians use to describe, the Trinity.
Mm.
I think all Christian songs are a bit weird. They always have such a sexual sound to them. There's a classical song. It's called "The Deer's Cry," and all the lyrics is just Christ in different places. So, Christ in me, Christ in you, Christ in the heart of every man. But it's like
Oh,
it starts
Christ.
off with Christ behind me, Christ on
Give-
Christ on the lips of every man and child, and Christ
Hey,
in me, and then it's like, hang on,
hey, if
is
Christ
this
is
a hymn
behind
or?
you, if Christ is behind you, will he be proper and give you a reach around?
Yeah. I would ask
Well,
if
that's the age-old question, isn't it?
I, I don't know if I would be able to ask this with a straight question, but is God in my dick? I would ask if that was, is God in my dick? Is he there right now?
The first thing I think of when I hear Christ behind me is that is supposedly saying, "Satan, get behind me."
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm. Well, this
God.
is talking about the triune God. Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't have the triune God. They're monotheists.
Mm.
Yeah. Because their theory is that this Jehovah dude, he's the infinite one. He was the one that was already there and always there. And then one day he decided he was bored or lonely, and so he created the word. And
Hmm.
then through the phrase, the exact sentence they use is, then through Jesus Christ, God created the rest of creation.
Right.
Mm.
Which
What the
was just an
fuck does that
afterthought.
mean?
It's like a
Through
sock
him,
puppet.
like he put his hand up his ass and out his mouth,
That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
and so therefore
A puppet.
Jesus is the only. That's where the only begotten comes from,
Right.
because he's the only creation that God created himself, and Jesus created everything else.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Huh.
Mm.
I think I need.
If regular Christianity is poly monotheism, then Jehovah's Witnesses is monotheism. And I don't know what the LDS, the Mormons are. They're poly, because there's so many deities. It's like multiple monotheism, because the number of deities you can have in the Mormon faith, it's like the number is legion. So it isn't
Well,
even just
what's
like
pantheism?
Well, and then
all
every
things.
one of their heads on the LDS church is
Or everything's
a
God.
prophet. You know,
Hmm.
you become the head of the LDS church, you're instantly a prophet.
Yes.
You
And
know, so yeah, that's putting you up there with, I guess, Jesus, Muhammad, all of them were prophets, right?
yeah, right, because when
Yeah,
this is just me trying to pull up the information that I know about the LDS, is that you're part of the Aaronic priesthood, right? If you're a male, if you're in the LDS, then you're immediately part of, Aaron was the brother of Moses, and so you're part of that priesthood now. Congratulations.
Isn't it the LDS Church that says that you can become a god of your own planet after you die?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, you get your own celestial
Yeah.
mama pumping out
You get to
spirit
go to the
babies.
celestial kingdom. It's the very tippy top of heaven. It's like the loft, it's up above the penthouse where you get to throw ice cubes down on other people and shit. Got to like stand at the stratosphere in Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a divine mother too, but you don't really hear about the celestial mother a whole lot. She's just there to cook dinner, and make
Iron your
babies.
clothes, rub toilets.
Iron clothes for
Yeah.
God,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, stuff like that.
Take the stains out of your Jesus jammies and
All the traditional female
Somebody-
roles.
the magical underwear don't wash themselves.
It's funny how women are still enslaved even when they're gods in this religion, right?
Yeah, my aunt was a Mormon for a short period of time. She basically left after she figured out what their afterlife plan was for her, and that she was supposed to get spiritually married to a Mormon because that was the only way that she could have anything in the afterlife. Because
Yes.
my uncle, her husband, never became a Mormon.
Well, I think one of the sick things they do is they baptize the dead.
Yeah, dude. You're fucking right about that. That's not right.
They,
They were
they,
they, they were baptizing all those Holocaust victims for a while.
yes.
That is twisted.
Yeah,
That
it's
is messed up.
messed up. It
I mean,
personally, it means nothing to me because
right,
they're
but
dead.
still,
But I
But
get
still,
that it's not good to the memory of the people.
Yeah, and
it's disrespectful.
yeah, it is it is disrespectful, and considering how much the Jews have suffered, let's just assume for a minute. Let's just give the Mormons the benefit of the doubt that they are Christians. Okay, let's say that they are Christians.
Okay, I'm going
We'll
along.
play make pretend, and how much the Jews have suffered at the hands of Christians, to have the insult of not only did Christians kill you people in the Holocaust, but now we're going to make you Christians in the afterlife. I mean, that is just a shit sandwich.
A leaked thing from the JWs recently. It's not actually getting released till January, but it got leaked out, and one of the talks on it is this gentleman who is fixated with the Jews in Babylon.
Okay.
And the Jews coming out of Babylon.
Sure.
But every time he refers to it, he has to point out that captivity in Babylon was very different to the captivity in Egypt. Like in Babylon, they could have houses and businesses, and scholars, unnamed, but scholars believe this is where the Jews learned the art of wheeling and dealing.
Oh.
It amazes me that I still like I
doesn't taste
put
right.
out
Doesn't
put out
taste right,
comments.
does it?
Saying things about the Bible and slavery in comment sections, and I still get. I haven't done this in a while, and these comments are almost 2 years old, and I still get hits on them.
Yeah.
I'm still talking to people about how there's slavery in the Bible, and I still get people trying to defend it. It blows my mind. I'm like, this is kind of old to me. Like, and then here it comes. I'll get at least one a week. Somebody trying to defend it.
It's yeah. There are a few things the Bible is consistent on. That is, homosexuality is bad, and that slavery is okay. Those are when you really, you got nothing else. You get very few other things that are consistent. But slavery is good, and homosexuality is bad.
Well,
and it isn't just that fucking
consistent
verse in
with
Leviticus either about the homosexuality thing either. There are other verses.
they're pretty consistent with the if you have a vagina, you don't matter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Women are
That's pretty
slaves. Women are
consistent.
property. Yeah.
It's what perpetuates this the punishment culture you're talking about this morning.
Yeah.
Like that is one of the awesomest phrases. Like I really like that. I have not heard that before. The punishment culture.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is.
Well, right. As soon as when you grow up in it, and then you look at its different manifestations in our society, it's like, oh, well, this is one of the main problems right here, is that the default setting for the culture at large is to punish people.
Yeah.
It isn't
And-
to nurture people, it is to punish people.
It's phrased as God wants to punish people, but he can't do it directly. He has to require his followers to do it on his behalf.
And it's loving.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's loving punishment.
Loving punishment.
And it goes hand in hand with, on the other hand, they also love their what I call persecution porn.
Yeah.
That they are the persecuted. Even though I think Christians are the most privileged
Fuck yes.
probably in the world.
I would say they're pretty
Yes.
fucking privileged around here. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the developed world, anyway, let's say.
Well, any place I've been in the States, from fucking Virginia to Seattle, I mean, they that fucking card.
Yep, you're right about that. Yeah, I mean that's the reason why you look at the Catholic Church here in Boston. This is the only reason why they've been able to get away with what they have for so long, in terms of kid fucking, right? Is just because of Catholic privilege. It's just because of Christian privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll have your Southern Baptists out this way. You got your Scientologists out in California.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a dominant cult in whatever area you're at.
If there's ever a Christian theocracy here in the States, right, there's going to be a lot of people figuring out that they're not Christian, even though they've been calling themselves Christian for a long time. It's like, sorry, you don't fit this criteria here. You're not really part. There'll be there already is a hierarchy of Christianity here in the States. And once again, if the theocrats come in, it'll be like, sorry, some of you don't pass muster. And this whole Judeo-Christian bullshit we've been spinning out, that's not real either. Any of you who've fallen for that piece of propaganda, this Judeo-Christian culture, this Judeo-Christian morality, that was just pillow talk.
I don't understand.
Right, because
why
the
people...
Jewish and the Christian they're two different, right?
Yeah, they're
Absolutely. And what most people like, I think this would be a fun experiment for you guys in the States. Walk around and ask people, was Christ a Christian?
Oh yeah.
And they'll go, oh yeah, of course he was. He's Christ. No, he wasn't, you dickhead. He was a fucking Jew.
Yeah. If you were, this is like philosophy 101 stuff. If you had the philosopher, whoever you're talking to, right? Basically a lot of philosophy 101 classes, just like, what would blah, blah, blah say, right? If you had, Plato here, what would Plato say about blah, blah, blah? And this is how you kind of understand what the other person's thinking. If Jesus was here right now, you'd be like, I'm a Jew. There are many different flavors of Jews. There's different kind of sects of Jews, but he if he was even a real person to begin with, which is iffy, debatable.
Yeah, very
He's like,
debatable.
I'm schwitzing here.
That's the thing. But yeah, it's clear that Paul was the creator of Christianity, as we understand Christianity. He was the one who had the vision that say that Christians didn't need to basically keep a lot of the laws, that you could eat whatever you
Oh,
want, that you don't have to cut your dick.
there's most likely versions of Christianity before Paul, but Paul basically crystallized it into what is fundamentally what became modern day
Right.
Christianity. It was like
Well,
there are many different types of Christianity before then that kind of were just like all over the place.
he was Ray Kroc. That's who. I don't know if you ever saw The Founder, the movie The
Hmm.
Founder about
Yeah,
Ray Kroc.
Yeah.
it was good.
That was a great movie, but I
It was
love that
really
movie.
good. Michael Keaton played that really well.
Oh, Michael Keaton, incredible. So if you haven't seen The Founder, everyone, by Michael Keaton, is that I would suggest you to go see it, of course, or to rent it. And that Ray Kroc, he didn't
It's on
invent.
Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix. Great, great. So Ray
Yeah,
Kroc,
that's where I got it.
he didn't invent fast food. He didn't invent the system that McDonald's used to mass produce food quickly. He just took it and then put it on an industrial scale.
Hmm.
So when I think of Paul, I think of Ray Kroc.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that said, let's rent them the land, rent
Yep.
them the building, rent them the
Mm.
shit that they cook the food with.
Yeah.
So
Tell them
that
the
it's
system.
always, yeah.
Right, because Ray Kroc, he wasn't making a lot of
Smart
money
dude.
off of out of the food, right? He wasn't making a lot of money because the margins are so small with restaurants. But and in the movie, and I don't know if not only did Ray Kroc didn't take the idea of the industry of how to make food quickly, he didn't invent them himself. In the movie, someone explained it to him how to make the cash, how to rent out the property to franchisees. And that's where the money is. So it's a real possibility that not only did Ray Kroc not develop the system of the how McDonald's creates food so quickly, but he also didn't create how to make the money off that system either. That's the genius of Ray Kroc. He was just a fucking unscrupulous guy who saw a really good idea and then just took it and ran with it and then claimed it to be his own.
Well, Bill Gates too. He
Mm.
didn't fucking create Microsoft.
Yeah.
He bought the DOS system.
Yeah. Yeah.
He went
Most
and
people
sold
don't realize how closely Steve Jobs and Bill Gates were. Bill Gates used to work for Apple. I don't think a lot of people even realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he stole the fucking system all the way around. He stole Jobs' idea on the Apple and turned it into software instead of the machine itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
There's yeah. I think this is what I tell other content creators. If we were, and people who've had private conversations with me about creativity or about making content, it's like, it's nice being creative, but you can't be too creative because you're going to lose. People aren't going to. Anyone who's an artist knows this, right? If you're super creative, then a lot of people aren't going to glom onto what you do. In Hollywood, there's this saying about screenwriting. It's like, people want to hear something familiar but with a twist. And
Well, there's also a fine line between creative and crazy.
oh yeah. True enough. Yeah.
And if you're too
Still trying to kind of
creative,
wrap my head around that.
if you're too far ahead of the curve, you're lost to the noise.
well, a lot of musicians were ahead of their time. To me, Frank Zappa, what he was doing and such, it's still too intense for people's mind. But if you listen to it, it's a symphony.
Yeah.
It's
Gregory Peckery. You know that one? Gregory Peckery.
So I know that. I don't know.
The
If I
little
know that.
pig goes about his day, goes to work, drives through all the traffic, comes home. He's Gregory Peccary, the precarious swine or something. Oh wow! If you haven't heard that Zappa, it's one you need to go and find.
All right.
It's
I'm
like a
actually
10 or 15 minute long
Of course it is. Right.
event.
The Adventures of Gregory Peccary.
The Adventures of Gregory Peccary. There you go.
And dude, it says it's like a
peccary is a small type of pig, for those who don't know.
okay.
Are they parsnicerous?
You know,
He probably uses that term in that song.
Parsnicerous piggery. Blah, 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 blah.
it says it's a 20-minute song, Sam.
20. Wow.
Holy shit.
That song.
I knew it was long, but
Right.
because the
Surprised I'm
album
not familiar with this.
that I bought, that's the only song on the album. It's The
Yeah.
Adventures of Gregory Peccary. It's the one song.
Named after Gregory Peck, of course. That's the little pig.
Yes.
Interesting. All right, yeah, I'll check it out, dude. I'll check it out.
Yeah. It's the usual Zappa commentary on society.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're the pig.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The song Flakes. I'm a moron, and this is my wife. She's frosting a cake with a paper knife. All that we got here is American made. It's a little bit cheesy, but it's nicely displayed. We don't get excited when it rumbles and breaks. We get on the phone and call up some flakes. They come on over and wreck it some more, and we are so dumb they're lining up at our door. Well, the toilet went crazy yesterday afternoon. The plumber, he said, never flush a tampoon. This great information cost a half a week's pay, and the toilet blew up later on the next day. Yay.
Nice, John Hudson. Very nice.
Great information, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't say right on the box, do not flush. You know?
Sure.
But so much of his music is like that, you know. The song Bobby Brown. Oh my God! Look, you get a minute. Listen to that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the most popular guy in school ends up becoming a rapist and then changes his swing and you know,
Right.
just
right.
yeah, it's. But those are the people we all knew growing up. They're the people that are out there every day that we see.
Well,
You
I
know?
tell you, yeah. You look when you look at the people who you grew up with and how they're in positions of power now, right? Typically, I'm not surprised whatsoever about the shape the world is in.
Yeah.
About the decisions leaders make. Yeah.
Your Brent Kavanaugh's and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I like beer.
But do you like beer at this time in the morning?
Fuck, actually, for me, the beer buzz early in the morning is the best one.
I will say this is that when I was married, maybe I was drinking during the holidays because I would do the holiday cooking. I would do the Thanksgiving, I do the Christmas, I do July 4th. And that gave me an excuse to start drinking at like 7 o'clock in the morning and just kind of coast through the day. Maybe I was self-medicating. Maybe I was. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you wear the lame dad apron
I did not. No,
with the not funny joke on the front?
I did not because I'm cheap and no one ever gave me one. So, and if no one gives me stuff, I don't go out and purchase a lot of stuff like the jacket I have on. I think I've had this for 15 years. The good thing is that it's my non-fat jacket. So I can only wear this when I'm thin or I'm less fat. I'm not going to go with thin. I'll go with I can only wear this when I'm less fat. So that's why I don't wear it a whole lot. That's why I haven't been able to wear it a whole lot, and it lasts it lasts so long.
Well, I was down in San Antonio last night, and the restaurant we ate at, they had a 64-ounce margarita. I've never had a 64-ounce margarita, so I had a 64-ounce margarita, and it was everything that the $40 that it cost. It was worth it.
And
What's that in like mils or liters? In
Ounces.
units. We don't measure in ounces. The only thing I buy in ounces is weed.
nice.
Man, it's like a cup that's I can't even do it. Like it's bigger than I can make my hands in this
Probably
screen.
like a liter. Might be
Yeah,
a
I think
liter.
64 ounces is a liter.
That's a
Is
lot.
it?
64 fluid ounces, I think, is closer to a gallon, which is
Which is
larger
more than
than
a
a
liter.
liter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Larger
Whoa.
than a liter.
That's 64 ounces is plenty.
You drank a gallon?
No, 64 is half a gallon, which
It's
is
two
probably
liquid-
African.
It is 2 liquid quarts. That's what it is. 64 U.S. fluid ounces equals 2.
Yeah,
So
that's half a gallon.
That's
That's half a
gallon.
gallon.
So you
How
just
much
converted it
alcohol
from
was in that?
American to American for me. Thank you for that.
I
What
think
the
there
hell
was
is a quart?
I think there was
You know-
6 shots of Respirado in that.
Or a gallon?
Usually when you have to translate American to American, we have to invade Iraq.
That's how you
So
get
what's-
there.
What was there any alcohol in this 2 quarts? Was there enough alcohol?
There's like 6 shots.
6 shots. All right, yeah, that's a lot.
Illegal.
Yeah. But with the meal, it's just, liquid.
64 ounces to liters is nearly 2 liters.
Yes.
Holy crap, John.
It was good.
What,
oh my
and
God.
what was it? A margarita.
It was a margarita. Tequila.
Oh, wow.
Me and
Was
the
it?
daughter both did one.
Well, she must
she
be
has,
happy that she can drink now, right? Now that she is
Yeah.
no longer pregnant.
yeah.
It's a typical thing here in Texas that like do everything in huge portions. Like me and Kendra, we could go out and order one freaking meal and get full,
Yeah.
full
Oh, yeah.
stuff. And we
Yeah.
just ate what one person eats in one sitting. Like it's mind-boggling to me.
Have you ever made it down to the Riverwalk Tobin in San Antonio?
Oh, not in San Antonio. Nuh-uh.
Oh, dude.
Not yet.
You guys need to run out there and just go walk the river. I took a flask with me to make it, yeah, I had a blast. It was just a quick elopement that she went down and shot. It was $300. We was there for 45 minutes,
Nice.
had dinner and got to be tourists. And they still had some of their Dia de Muertos decorations up. It was really cool.
I have no idea the word that you just said.
Day of the Dead. It's
The Day
it's
of the
a
Dead. Okay, there you go.
Mexican holiday, which is actually yesterday and today. It's a 2-day celebration,
Oh, nice.
but with the sugar skulls and stuff. And then it's also really beautiful during the Christmas time because they have lights just dropping down from the buildings. There's huge cypress trees and such, but the river San Antonio River goes right through town, and they've got it all these rock walls, and it's beautiful. There's waterfalls and everything, and it's way cool.
I love the not.
Thank you.
And I guess it's probably a kind of cultural appropriation, I suppose. But I love the Day of the Dead imagery and the way that they decorate the skulls and that. I don't know what you
The
would
sugar
call
skulls.
that. Yeah, but the specific style of patterns and and drawings and things.
Yeah, using paisleys inside of
Yes. Brilliant. Absolutely love it. And because it's Day of the Dead, it's got that dark feel to it as well.
Yeah, it's just a celebration of, of honoring the people that have come before you, who have come and gone.
Which I think's really meaningful, and I think it's something that atheists should embrace. Is like an honoring of the ones that come before us, and I guess we
Right.
do in different ways, but more of a specific thing, like a day or a
Yeah.
something like
I wonder if the Satanists have something like that. I don't know. I'll have to ask my buddy Jack.
That's a good question.
because we're the ones that say once you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah.
So it should be more important for us to keep memories alive.
I like that. I like that thought, Sammy. I think that there's something there, and with our culture too, we show respect.
Hmm.
I mean, when it's deserving, and
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I could get behind that.
So are you? I know that. Let's see, we have 4 people here in the States. I'm vote. Do you guys have vote? Are there elections going on? Local elections where you are?
No.
Not where I'm at. There's some in Austin, but we're not in the same county. We're in Hayes County, which we're just shit. It's as close to Austin as anything, but no, we don't have any elections whatsoever in Dripping.
I'm investigating that because I think I thought we had elections going on today. Like I saw an advertisement for Texas elections, but I'm not sure exactly whenever it lands.
Right, yeah, it should be today.
And these, I know you have completely different system, but is this like state level or like what?
Well,
what are you electing?
Yeah, it depends. There are some places that have state
God,
level
why
elections.
did I ask?
There are some places that have local elections. No federal elections this year, though.
Some are just city and county elections, from what I know.
Yeah, the biggest election being talked about right now is the Virginia governor election.
Yeah, dude.
That's right.
That's going to be interesting to see.
It's a fucking hodgepodge. Like,
yeah.
Some are voting governors, some are voting mayors, some are voting what? Like what?
In St. Paul, the things on the ballot are mayor, school board, and ballot question about rent stabilization.
You just vote on that weird shit too, don't you?
Well, there's ballot initiatives.
School boards. That's just foreign to me.
So right now in the Virginia election, I'm looking at 538. This was out on yesterday that the Republican is up by, so within the margin of error, up by 0.6%. So it's a super close vote in Virginia right now. I think I'm not a big fan of who is it? The Democrat Terry McAuliffe. I think, but if he loses, it's going to be just because of I think primarily because of the blowback, because of vaccines, and a blowback because of people having to get vaccinated. Yeah.
So to help me get a feel, I know we're comparing apples and oranges, so I take that into account. But when you look at like other world governments, majority parliaments and things
Yep.
like that.
Mm.
How do you, if it was like a positive or negative, how do you feel about the American system? Do you think it worked? The great American experiment legal system has worked.
It's I'm going to say what I always say is that it was clear from the very beginning. Well, Alexis de Tocqueville, when he wrote Democracy in America, said the American president has imperial power when he interacts or when they interact with foreign powers. Up until that point, the American president doesn't have a lot of power. And oh my fictitious God, that has proven to be true time and time again. That basically, as commander in chief, the president can do whatever the fuck he wants to most of the time.
Executive order.
Executive orders telling the Supreme Court to go fuck itself on several different occasions, telling the Supreme Court it can go fuck itself. Signing qualifiers on bills. Yeah.
Well, the Constitution was written 200 years ago, and I mean, for all things to survive and to thrive, they need to evolve. You know, leaving them justice in there for a lifetime. You know, there's got to be some fucking term limit.
Yeah.
There's got to be accountability.
Bible.
And Voltaire said, I'm gonna bring out Voltaire too. He said that he made a comment that when a society only has two religions, two faiths, then they have a tendency of getting into a knife fight with each other, right? And right, it becomes when you only have two faiths, they get into a knife fight with each other, and that just happens. When you have a multitude of faiths, that's when things become a bit more even out. Things become a bit smoother. And I think you can say something like that with politics too. I'm not saying a parliamentary system is perfect, but I will say that, of course it is, but I will say that you don't have a super powerful executive in a parliamentary system, and you have multiple parties. So you don't have this kind of knife fight that our politics have. And this isn't just now within our lifetime. You see it a multitude of times that the two parties here in the States just go after each other crazily, like lunatics. Whether you're talking about senators beating each other, the attack on Senator, I think it was Pickering from South Carolina, who beat the Massachusetts senator in the 1850s, right on the floor of the Senate. And then you see about how the Democrats and
you mean physically beat him?
physically beat them. Yes,
With a cane.
With a cane. It seems like there are contradictions inherent in the American system that just bring out the worst aspects of our characters.
The recent John Oliver thing on Taiwan, he emphasized that the Taiwanese parliament or whatever it is, they are well known for getting into fights.
Oh,
Physical.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It has failed the system. Like the story of Bonnie and Clyde comes up in my memory because Bonnie and Clyde were not brought to jury. They did not get a judgment by a judge or anything like that.
Mhm.
They the sheriffs or the authorities got together and they trapped them and then just gunned them down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know exactly. There was something like 13 people that they were thought that they were believed that they had killed 13 people, but they never got any judge jury. Our system fails at times.
If the police can shoot somebody and kill them, which they do on a daily basis, how have we not just directly bypassed the court, the jury, the judge?
Yeah.
We've just gone straight from police to executioner.
I'll say this is that about skepticism. One of the things that you find out about skepticism when you become a skeptic is that you realize people don't understand why they're good at why they're successful if they are successful. And a lot of times people don't understand why they're not successful if they're not successful. And you can say the same thing about nation states, right? You always hear about American exceptionalism, but we have two fucking oceans separating us from what had been pretty much Crazyville, right? I mean, that's a gross Americanization of Europe. But yeah, we were allowed to be crazy on our own over here. And really, when you talk about American exceptionalism, we've had no other real competitors in this hemisphere besides us.
I've got a little Bonnie and Clyde story.
Okay.
My dad's uncle Turner, these were stories that I was told as a kid, that he was in a car about a half mile behind Bonnie and Clyde, and when he heard the guns go off on that Texas roadblock, he hadn't crested the hill, turned around and went the opposite way. There was also a story in the family about him breaking out of Texas prisons twice. When I got down here and started researching it, Turner had broken out of Texas prisons twice and was on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list for over 20 years.
What's interesting?
I'm going to just take the Bonnie and Clyde story as fact because the prison one sounds even more outlandish, but we found newspaper articles on it.
Interesting. And the country had a lot of weapons in it after World War I. You had Tommy guns, you had the BAR, and the BAR was it wasn't an assault rifle, but it was I think it had 8 bullets in the clip, and it was automatic, so you could just like that, and gangsters would saw them off so that they could keep them, and use them in close quarters. So you had a bunch of guys back from World War I. And we've talked about this before about how wars, men come back, people come back from wars all messed up to begin with. And then with a bunch of weapons kicking around the system, you could buy a Tommy gun. It was expensive, but you could still buy a Tommy gun at a hardware store back then. So how could it go wrong? How could the system go wrong? But yeah, just to getting back about how people, and there are people who are successful today. The girlfriend and I were just talking about this last night. People don't understand why they're successful because, we all want to feel like we've become successful on our own merits. But when you look at intergenerational wealth, about privilege, about all of these other factors, it's like, if you're successful, you probably have had to work hard. But that's not the only reason. And that may not even be the salient reason. That may not be the prime reason why you're successful.
And I think more people understand that, but can't admit it.
No, that's a tough pill to take. It is a tough pill.
I would put myself in that category. I mean, I will admit it, but I think I find it difficult to. Oh yeah. To say, it's not. I've not done anything really. It's my fucking privilege, more than anything, that's got me what I've got and where I am.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Because when I look back about all the times I fucked up in my life, right? It's like I know that my privilege insulated me on several of these occasions. Why isn't Andy in jail? Why have I never been charged with a felony? Maybe privilege and being able to run really fast from the cops. Maybe those things.
Why was John only charged with 13 felonies? There was 10 times that amount.
Right. Yeah. So when people talk about like why has America done so well in comparison to other countries, they want to say, well, it's because of our system of government and it's like, maybe not. Maybe when you start teasing things apart, It's maybe despite our government. Maybe it's despite the system that
Similar reasons why, for our tiny size, why we do so well
yeah,
as well.
yeah, you've been left
So,
alone.
we are the same story as America, just later and
Yeah,
smaller.
yeah, 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 yeah. Being able to dictate the
Come in,
term.
stole this, massive paradisic land that has all seasons across it.
Yeah,
Took it for ourselves, and then enjoy what came of it.
yeah, yeah, indeed.
And it's
Wow.
the
And
violence.
say, look how hard we worked.
It's the justified violence, the righteousness that people have, that I think really okay, I just lost what I was trying to go for.
No, I was just looking at what Cryptomaria was writing. Lack of proper health treatment. Yeah. Once again, the DSA here, at least in Somerville, they are trying to get a fucking, what was the term? In a safe injection, right? Which you would think a safe injection
Injecting
site.
room.
You would think that would be fucking common sense. You would think it'd be fucking common sense.
They
You just gotta
are.
look at the data.
Do you know one thing I have to say? One of the things that I can say I'm a little bit proud that we've have a record of doing in Australia is waiting and seeing how countries go with stuff, and then if it works, we adopt it.
Yeah. Well,
So injecting rooms, right?
yeah.
No one wanted them. Oh, I don't want junkies in my neighborhood, blah, 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 blah. Our government doesn't listen to us. And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
But in this case, they didn't, and looked at overseas studies. Scandinavian countries, they're the places to watch.
They are
because
really,
they
dude.
try
They really
shit.
are. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And their drug problems just went right down. The numbers went right down. They changed drugs from criminal to mental health
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Well,
And
it should be.
just the well-being of their whole societies
Yeah.
is phenomenally higher than the rest of us. So we've adopted injecting rooms, and the difference, it's like mandates. You can't argue with this shit. The evidence is so obvious.
Yeah.
What was those numbers with the mandates? 91% of whatever area you were talking about, Andy, are now vaccinated because of the mandates. 91%. But
It's
you will still have that, including probably 30% of that 90% still arguing that mandates are wrong.
Well, I was watching this Hidden Brain. I was listening to a Hidden Brain podcast, and they were doing a bit of tape from this fucking New York congressperson arguing against fucking seatbelt law back in the 80s. And it's the same fucking arguments. You're taking the freedom away.
It's their freedom. It's their
It's like
freedom.
we're just telling you to put on your fucking seatbelts, for fuck's sake. Just put on your seatbelt. And if you don't, and if you get caught, you're gonna get fined. It isn't fascism. That isn't fascism, everyone. That's not fascism. There is fascism, but that's not it.
Well, yeah,
It's public safety, because somebody else is going to have to scrape you up off the side of the road.
And I was going to say, when your flying corpse comes through the windscreen of a family vehicle, like, that wasn't their fault.
Well, I don't personally. I don't like seat belts, and when I'm by myself, I don't wear them. But when I'm in the car with somebody else, I do buckle down because I can be a projectile. But generally, when I don't drive much, and my tractor doesn't have a seat belt. So, but when I get in the car with the family and stuff, I buckle up.
That's good, John. At least you buckle up when the family's around. I did hear about the Tokyo train incident. The man dressed up as the Joker stabbed a bunch of people. The NRA looks at that and said, he could have killed at least 100 if he had a high capacity gun there, right? A gun with a high capacity.
Well, if everybody had guns, they would have stopped him.
NRA would be like,
See,
yeah,
that's what they'd be saying.
yeah.
People had
well,
their
yes.
guns.
But then the crazy son of a bitch who's trying to stop him, you got stray bullets flying. Oh,
Yeah.
well, there was 2 innocent killed, but we stopped this son of a bitch. You know?
Okay,
And then,
everyone.
and then the person with the gun stopping the person with the knife. Another person with a gun who didn't notice the person with the knife just saw someone start shooting up other people. They
Right,
shoot the
Yep, and
first
shoots
person
him.
shooting.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes a clusterfuck. On that happy note, everyone, I gotta close out the show. I gotta go vote, and I have to go to work. Shamla
for you.
hamla, everyone.
Shamala hamala.
Go out to vote. I'm voting the Democratic Socialists of America ticket today. I hope you do.
Yeah.
If you're in a blue state, if you're in a heavy blue state, vote the DSA. If you're in a purple or red state, vote Democrat. That's just, I think that's, I'm not that smart. Even I know this. Take care, everyone.
It's logic.
Oh, man.